I am so excited about this. Welcome to the first ever homeowners update and quick tips. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to be doing this on the 15th of every single month. In addition, at jenniferbeeston.com, I'm going to be building out a whole section for homeowners. So, it's going to take time, but it's always bothered me that a lot of times I'll work with someone, they've watched me for years, and then it's like I disappear. And I feel like, I don't know, I still want to help. Even if we're not doing a loan together, if I have information that can help you, I want to share it. So here we go. December homeowner update and quick tips. Number one, let's talk about property values. Very important. Every homeowner cares about this. Nationally, the average that houses went up in 2024 was 5.8%. Really important to pay attention to these numbers. Now, that's on average. If you're in an area with low supply, your value definitely could have gone up higher. Whereas if you're in an area where there's a ton of building and a lot of supplies, you may not have seen that appreciation. The market is still driven by supply, which makes sense if you take into consideration, I was looking at a statistic recently that over 70% of people with mortgages, their rate's under 4%, right? So there's a lot of people who would love to move, but they're not ready to leave that rate. And that's why we're seeing supply shortages still. The economists are estimating that housing will still appreciate in 2025, even if rates are higher, about 3.8%. So right now they are forecasting that we're not going to be seeing a dip in rates, and their appreciation's based off of that. If we did, for some reason, see a dip in the rate, I would say in the 5s, and it needs to be for a decent period of time, because we had a magical moment for 2 weeks this year, but it wasn't enough for people to realize what was going on. I really strongly believe if we got into that range, you'd see values go up even more. But once again, it's going to depend if you're in an area with limited supply or a lot of supply. So nothing to tie your identity to, and we're going to talk about that in a second, but it's just good to know, right? Because you see so many headlines that are like, housing crash, imminent, everything's going to crash. And it's been saying that for 8 years. And it's really simple. Negative news gets clicks. That's why. Right? That's why we have all the housing crash bros on YouTube. Negative news gets clicks. So always pay attention to the big numbers. Fannie and Freddie release this every year, and 5.8%. Okay, let's talk about apps. Zillow, Realtor, Homes.com. Maybe you get HomeBot. Maybe you worked with me and I send you HomeBot. It's really hard after you've spent months looking at these apps every single day to sometimes stop. I'm telling you right now, stop. Just stop. The only time you should be paying attention to your house value is if you're looking at selling or if you're looking at refinancing. Any other time, it's just a fun game, but it doesn't mean anything because you're not doing anything with it. And one of the things that I'll see, just because I have properties that I track on these different apps, I use HomeBot, and I'll get a notice that's like, your value's gone down $100,000. And I'm like, oh, no. And then the next month it's like, your value's up 100. Here's the thing. All of those apps are looking at what has sold around you. It's not looking at condition. And I can't stress that enough. You could have a house that's totally upgraded. The one that sold could be falling down. And if you actually went to sell your house, this wouldn't be used necessarily as a comparable sale. So the data you're getting saying your value's dropped, if it's based off of this, it's not accurate. And the reverse is true as well. If suddenly you get something that says your house is worth so much more, take a look at what sold recently. And if you look at a house and you go, oh, that's a palace, mine's falling down. Well, guess what? Your house didn't go up that much, right? So really, I would say only look at those as entertainment unless you're looking at selling or refinancing. But at the same time, I will tell you right now, they are not super accurate because they don't see in your house. If you do upgrades, if you suddenly put in a pool, they don't know. So be aware of that and just, it can get easy to get into the psychology of did I do the right thing? I don't know if I did. Just enjoy your house. Seriously, enjoy your house. Enjoy the moment. You did it. You made it. You're a homeowner. enjoy. Okay, now I'm gonna tell you some scary stuff. So in prep for this video, I was doing a little research because I had a hunch. I was like, I bet most house fires occur in December. I was right. Most house fires occur in December. Multitude of reasons, but basically it's super cold. The second month is January. And one of the biggest causes of house fires is the furnace. That's right, the furnace. So what you're gonna do, and if you haven't done this since you bought the house, please go do this, change the filter. Furnaces, most furnaces have a filter. A lot of people don't realize this and they don't realize you need to change it. You do. And depending on where you live, you may need to change it every 3 months, every 4 months, every 6 months. If you have animals, it could be every month. The reason you want to keep that filter fresh is because if it's not, you're going to be paying a lot more to heat your house, right? We all need to save money. We don't need to waste money. Clean filter. Also, it's terrible for your health. So really check, change your filter. If you're somewhere like Florida where I am, where it's super warm, air conditioning filter. I have to change mine every month here. It's crazy. I'm gonna do a video and show it to you guys on jenniferbeeston.com. Next time I do it, after a month, it is straight up like filled in black. It's gross. In California, I would do it like every 3 months. But look, heaters cost money. Air conditioners cost money. You want a clean filter. Okay, what else catches house fires? Space heaters, really be mindful of where they're put. Heating blankets, yes, turn on a heating blanket, forget about it. You know, never sleep with one of those on. I saw some terrible videos of burns, be very careful. And, are you ready for this? Candles, that's right. You are more likely to start a house fire with a candle in December by a multitude of 4. That's right, you are 4 times more likely to start a fire with a candle in December than any other month. So really be careful about the candles you're lighting. Make sure that you're paying attention to them. You know, unfortunately, there's some candles that are made that could be expensive, but they were made cheaply and literally they will burn through the container and take out your house. So be careful. Now, the one we all know about, I hope, the tree. The tree. You gotta water the tree. If you have a real tree, you need to water it. Do not put it near a heating vent. A lot of times people go, well, if it's by a heating vent, like that doesn't matter. I just can't put it by a fireplace, right? Don't put it by either. Seriously, do not put it by anything that's gonna warm up that tree. Also make sure that you're checking the electrical. A Christmas tree, like from the first flame to your entire living room being destroyed, 1 minute. I watched a video, it was terrifying. I was like, I mean, thankfully my Christmas tree is like this big and I'm not even necessarily gonna turn on the lights that much anymore because that's what happens is one of the things that happens is people leave the lights on for a long time. Something's wrong with the lights, boom, no thanks. So make sure, because there's all this fire risk in December, that you're checking your carbon monoxide alarm as well as your smoke detector. This could be a very good time to put new batteries in. I know a lot of this seems very basic, but I'm gonna tell you right now, it took me a long time to learn this stuff. Okay, we're getting closer. This is important though. Do you guys remember a couple years ago when Texas got super cold and TikTok was littered with videos of pipes bursting? Yeah, that's a thing. If you're in an area that traditionally gets cold, you should have already winterized. If you're unfamiliar with that term, look it up. Look up how to winterize your home. It is critical. Now, for the people who are in the areas that don't traditionally get that cold, here's what I would suggest. Detach your hose. At a minimum, detach your hose. Unless you're somewhere hot, and look, I'm in Florida right now and it's actually about 60, detach your hose, okay? And it sounds crazy, but it's like, if there's any water left in the hose, it can actually expand and bust your pipes. I know, I was surprised. The other thing is you wanna try to keep your house at a minimum at 55 degrees at all time, even if you're not home, because if there's a cold snap, and there's no heat in that house, those pipes can freeze, and guess what? Go check out Texas Freeze pipe burst on social media from a few years ago. It's scary, and I think weather's so unpredictable these days, you just never know what's gonna happen. Okay, and lastly, I just wanna remind you guys, if you bought a house this year, make sure that you're keeping the closing statement because you're gonna need that next year for your taxes. Okay, if you don't know where that is, reach out to your lender and say, hey, I don't have my closing statement. Do you mind sending to me? Because you will need that next year for taxes. So I hope this video was helpful. I think I'll get better at them as I do more, to be honest. And I hope, you know, in the new year, as I get the JenniferBeeston.com homeowner stuff up and rolling, I'll talk about it more. But I just feel like there's so much you don't know as a homeowner, and I'm not ready to say goodbye. So thanks for watching. Chat with you guys soon.